right, we are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce, and it is Octane Friday. And we have a special guest here today. Chris Hindman is here. We've been planning this one for quite a while. Chris is a great friend of mine, also immediately next door neighbor. We share what we call the gully, and we are Gully Peeps. And we've been talking about doing an episode on this band for, well, really for a long time. But we were waiting for an anniversary for the band to come up with it. And so we're finally coming around to that. And we're going back to July 5th, 1988, when Cinderella released its second studio album, Long Cold Winter. But before we get to that, we're going to talk a little bit about Cinderella.
So Cinderella formed in 1982 in Philly, but peak popularity was mid to late 80s, part of that whole hair band genre. Two early members left to go form Brittany Fox, the one-hit wonder, which was Girls' School, which you might remember, did get a lot of radio play.
I think I saw Brittany Fox like twice by accident with White Lion, because they opened up for everybody.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
But I can only name that at Girls' School, that's it.
Exactly.
Anyway, so they should have stayed with Cinderella.
Should have.
Yes.
Would have had a much longer career.
Right. So they were rehearsing at the American Legion in Wayne, Pennsylvania, and touring small places, and Gene Simmons gets a listen to them. And Gene Simmons has kind of had his hand in a lot of bands. And he was like, I want to get you guys signed to Polygram. Let's go get you signed. And Polygram was like, no, we're not interested. So that was a drag. And then John Bon Jovi, not Bon John Dovi, saw them in concert and was like, I got to get these guys signed. So he went to his A&R guy and was like, you guys got to sign these guys. And his A&R guy was like, they're all right. I mean, maybe we'll do a development deal with them or something. And they were like, no. And it took like 6 months. And then finally they were signed in 1985. And they put out their debut record in June of 86. The album Night Songs, right?
Right.
And what was on Night Songs?
So everybody knows these. I got a lot of radio play. Shake Me, Nobody's Fool, kind of that power ballad, hairband power
Great
ballad
video.
thing. Somebody Save Me, and of course, title track Night Songs. Great songs. Yeah, I mean that was just a rockin' start of their album there.
Yeah, and those songs were made for MTV. Those were some great videos I can picture, especially "Shake Me." That sold like 3 million copies, and they ended up opening up over the next tour. That tour, they opened up for Poison, Loudness, David Lee Roth.
Yep.
The Slippery When Wet tour with Bon Jovi, that's huge, and Monsters of Rock.
Of Rock.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Wicked huge.
Yeah. So they were coming off those kinds of tours when they started working on this second record. I mean, but they're definitely hair band. When you look at their videos
Absolutely.
and you see them and you see their outfits, it's right up there. It's hair band music. But they put out Long Cold Winter, and
Long Cold Winter, yeah, July of 88. Number 10, the album went to number 10 on the charts, sold 2 million copies, 4 singles, which again, a lot of radio play, everybody's going to recognize. Gypsy Road, Don't Know What You Got,
Till It's Gone,
another power ballad. The Last Mile, Coming Home.
Oh, that's a good one too.
That's a really good one. Yeah. And then one of my favorites, Bad Seamstress Blues. And the thing that I remember about that album was these hard bluesy riffs that Tom Keifer would just rail on, and it was just ear grinding, and I was just so into that at the time. I used to play that album just over and over.
Yeah, because you think about some of those hair bands, and they were either over the top hair band like Poison, for instance, with maybe they had a handful of hits, but I don't know if people dug deep into their actual deep catalog or whatever, or listen to them seriously like that, or like I'm a big Rat fan, but it's not like I like all their hits for the most part.
Right.
But you could listen to Cinderella album,
which I did today. I just
all of them.
At work I put on the greatest hits, and I was like 2.5 hours in, and I was still waiting for a song that I could say, well, I don't really like that song. I mean, their catalog is deep. by comparison to a lot of other hair bands.
Yeah, so I knew those songs. I knew the radio hits. And then in the 90s, I went and saw one of those reunion tours, and I saw Poison with Cinderella, Dokken, huge Dokken fan, and Slaughter, which I read about this concert recently to get my facts straight, and I don't remember seeing Slaughter, but I like Slaughter now, but I don't know that I knew much about them then. But so when I heard Cinderella that night, I was like, what is going on here? They are awesome. I was like, I don't even know half these songs, and I love this band. And I bought the live CD that they were selling at the t-shirt station, and I was like, I'm a Cinderella fan. Turns out, I went in and I thought I was a Dokken fan, which I was, and I left a Cinderella fan. And then I've been listening to them heavy ever since. And then fast forward, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, good friend Paul Chabot says, hey, you want to see Tom Keifer? Paul, thank you for that phone call. And I was like, well, number one, who's Tom Keifer? And he was like, the singer of Cinderella. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, is he doing like a jazz tour, or does he have his own new solo album? Am I going to like this show? He's like, no, he plays Cinderella songs. So I was skeptical, and we went to the Infinity Hall in Hartford, which is not necessarily a metal place, and you're bummed. And we sat in the balcony and ate our tuna tartare and whatever, like a steak. And then this band came out, and it turns out it was a Cinderella show, and it was a full-on metal show. And it was unbelievable. It was so good, and it was amazing. And so we are just waiting for Tom Keifer, who is touring, to come around. And I even send messages like, come to Hartford, because this guy's going to be there with Paul and myself, and we're going to be in the front row, not in the balcony eating our steak. We're going to be up there pumping our fists, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So Cinderella, Long Cold Winter. We didn't talk about Song of the Day. I mean, usually, we're going to post a bunch of these, right. But we didn't even discuss this.
I know we didn't.
You're picking Song of the Day today for Octane Friday. What are you going to pick from Long Cold Winter to play?
I mean, for me, it's got to be Gypsy Road.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. Every time I hear that
hard bluesy riff, I mean, it's just, it's awesome.
I heard that recently, and I turned it way up. That's one of the ones you turn way up, and you're just like, never get tired of that song. Yeah. Gypsy Road is awesome. So, good pick, Chris, on the fly there. Thanks. All right, we're at almost 8 minutes on Cinderella. Goes by, now you know how I can make those videos, right? You're like, why are those videos so long, Mark? I never watched them, and here we are. And that's why, right? Because we get to chat. So, Cinderella, let me know if you're a fan. Talk about it below. Give me the comments. I want to hear all your comments. We love this band, and we're excited. So
and we were lucky enough to see them.
Yeah, I want to know if you saw them back in the day, too, because mine in the 90s, it counts, but it doesn't really count. I want to know if you saw them when they're full-on hair. All right? Yeah. All right, Chris, thanks for being on. Finally, awesome. Song of the Day, thanks. Octane Friday. We'll have you back on again.
Okay.
And as usual, we'll catch you on the flip side.